Last time on Dice Funk, bruh.
Are you going to be that guide for us, and can we make friends with you and bring you back to the prime material plane and have a new friend?
A naga on the bottom half, but the top half, a thing with crab arms, blue mane eyes, and what appears to be a collection of eyes they've snatched from other people on top of their head.
2/3 of the skin off a snake.
Ugh.
It's still got some of the sort of rippled snake outer coating, but a lot of it looks peeled to the flesh.
I shall hold them off. You go ahead and find the baku.
In essence, instead of this individual being dead in the cave, they are very much alive and living what appears to be the happiest life they could be living here. It's good to see you, Voya.
Tree hand.
This combination is known as the Ancestor,
Yeah, wings and scales, I think.
the exchange. And Aze draws deftly on the board underneath Neellith, which then leaves the only spot to the genius of Grendel.
Just remember, it is an awesome feeling to smash your past behind you.
Your needle-tipped glove into one of them and basically taking its power, basically doing what the Baku is doing, but now you're in charge. And remember, Neellith, Ruth explained to you an egregore, where basically everybody in the village comes together and controls kind of a dream creature.
Yeah. I like the thought that this creature is somehow assembled out of positive things that have positive associations for everyone in the group.
You provide them a psychic dream mental dish so satisfying, so filling, so enticing that it destroys their interest in hounding people's nightmares because it will never taste as good in comparison.
Remember that time Jameis Winston stole crab legs from the Publix next to my house?
Yes. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I literally lived next to that Publix for 10 years. And then Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Jameis Winston shoplifted from it.
Sometimes I feel sorry for professional athletes because they're literally not taught anything else their entire
Upbringing about how to do anything.
Last point, I've mentioned this in the Discord a while ago, but I had an idea for a character for one of the earlier seasons that was going to be modeled off of professional Major League Baseball, and touching on some of those topics about how in some cases how unprepared or really just how rough it can be for those players in different cases. But yeah, so that's a topic for a different conversation for maybe a different season or one shot or series or whatever.
Yeah, what exactly are we doing here? So this is a downtime episode, but before we get to the level ups, I actually want to address the immediate aftermath of the last arc, because after you defeat the Baku in a really creative fashion, I think a lot of people were really gratified by that twist at the end there. You escape from the dream realm and come back to Grendel, and you find that some time has passed, like a day or so, or at least the storm has broken, and there's some sunlight peeking through as the wind dies down. And I think the people of the village come out to see the egregore you have summoned, Neellith, which is quite a monstrosity. And I want to talk about it a little bit more, because in addition to the features it has from the party, because Genius Loci kind of represent an entire location, I think it also has features from the other villagers as well.
Oh, what do they add to the Dream Voltron?
Yeah, I'm looking at my NPC list. I think, we talked about Potter's giant paws. I think we got to get those on there.
We got to have the little horns from Gigi would be another one, maybe.
Yeah, little horns. I mean, we talked about Venta's big wings as a bozog, maybe on the back, just these brilliant blue wings.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Marina's forearms, obviously, is.
Of course.
Yep. You got to have the Hale's tail, you know?
Honestly, I want to add as many features to this as possible. I want this to be the most over-designed monstrosity on the planet that
It's gonna take the rest of the season for someone to come up with a design. I say that, and watch what happens. This will go live, and in 24 hours, someone will have a perfect drawing of this.
I want this to be the equivalent of when, like, a 4-year-old describes, like, their dream robot and they just keep adding shit to it because they're overexcited. Like, that's what I want this to be.
And also, if one of their classmates comes up with a better idea for their own Voltron, they go, oh yeah, mine does have that too.
Yeah, exactly. they just steal idea, like whenever someone else suggests an idea, like, oh yeah, I already had that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I have that too.
It has 14 features, 4 for the party and then 10 for the villagers. So that's easy to remember. Mechanically speaking, this actually does confer a benefit to the party. Basically, once per arc, you can concentrate and summon the egregore to automatically succeed on a check, which is kind of what you did at the end. So if Neellith had said, I want to cook a dream with the dream stuff so delicious, the Baku will never be satisfied with these nightmares again, I would have said, like, roll with your cooking proficiency, and then if you had failed, that just wouldn't have worked, and we'd had to have another solution. But essentially, by using your get out of jail free card, egregore, you succeeded automatically. So you kind of have one free success per arc.
I've got to explain how the Dream Voltron helps me to win the check, I guess.
Exactly. But it's not just Neellith, because although your psionics did allow you to connect to the other villagers in kind of like a low-level psionic hive mind, everyone's involved now. I described last episode how there are examples of this through history, like Athena is the genius loci of Athens. Some other examples like the Colossus of Rhodes for Rhodes, or the Statue of Liberty for New York. And I think Skitch literally already referenced that part in Ghostbusters too, where New York's egregore gets up and starts doing plot stuff. So like, yeah, that's the whole vibe.
Toastbusters. You got to remember, it's Toastbusters, not Ghostbusters. Okay.
I'm truly thinking about Ghostbusters 2 and being in awe of how accurate that is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my god, like every detail, he's correct.
So that means that Neellith was controlling the egregore using an NES Advantage controller as well, correct? You know,
that's her season 6 character. Her season 8 character has like a Juicero or something. But yeah, so a feature from every character on there, maybe like tentacles or the Rorschachs from Ruth. You already described the lights coming from the eyes of the bodies. That's part of its leg last episode, so that's Sun, Moon, Stars. What else? The ears maybe from Shoko. Tusks from Pastor Very. And I think also just a shovel like Farmer Applewhite, because we described how the trophy that Neellith added to it is like also just objects can get incorporated as well. So it represents all of you. And as you come out of the dream realm with the egregore, all the villagers gather around to marvel at it, and they're all extremely like psyched about this cool thing. Does it fade away, and when you need it, it manifests? Or like the Statue of Liberty in Ghostbusters 2 / the Colossus of Rhodes, does it just become inanimate?
It's a statue to like our glory. It's our Statue of Liberty.
I like the idea of the statue, and when we need it, it's like when the Power Rangers do the teleport and the colourful streak goes across the sky and sort of lands where they need to be.
Yeah. I was thinking that like the body, which I believe was the trophy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is like what the statue is, and then it just rises off the ground and then everything sprouts off from it when it's being called to action. Kind of in that.
Wait, can we do it like the Power Rangers, where we each summon our part of it with our own little special thing, and then it all comes together, and that can be our thing?
Well, I mean, you could have almost a small, like, not really like statues, but small like relics of it all throughout town near the different contributing representatives on it, and then they all fly together and assemble when necessary, for sure.
We should also discuss the size of this thing, because I'm picturing it, if it is like a statue in the center of town, it is not Statue of Liberty or Colossus of Rhodes size. That's too big. But it is like if one of you got in its tummy like a cockpit, you could, mech around.
Yeah.
Just mech around.
Just mech around. Meching around town.
Just meching around. What are you doing, mech stuff?
You're meching your way around town. Got it. Okay.
I do like the idea that when we need this thing summoned, like every person in town's house has like one little beam of light as their bit comes to join the Voltron.
Mm-hmm. It's very wholesome. You may have noticed, audience, that you do not hear the voice of Chris Larios. That is because Chris/Genius of Grendel are up to something, which we may hint at throughout this episode and through the episodes going forward. We have things in motion. All I'll say in universe is that you see the Genius of Grendel roll away from this town congregation. Everyone's around the egregore like, oh my gosh, look at this. Oh, look at it. 4 arms. It's so cool. Oh, it has a tail. And the genius just wordlessly rolls away. And that's something they do all the time. It doesn't strike you as particularly noteworthy. But that is something I want you to hold in your mind as we go forward. Do not worry. You will hear more from Chris Larios. We have a recording session planned for Friday. Chris is writing one-shots. There's going to be a lot more Chris, but also we're up to something.
This is where I resist the urge to be like, just to be a dick, I roll insight to realize that something's up.
I'm gonna roll insight on the dungeon master here. To see if the dungeon master is up to something here.
You succeed, and then I tell you Chris is at work right now because his schedule changed, and yeah, you find out he's bored and he's on Twitter. Wow, what such insight!
Wow, gosh, dang. Well, this will be cut out anyway. So, anyways, moving
Chris
on.
is wonderful.
We love Chris. So that's. Does anybody have anything they want to do in this scene? This is just before we get into level ups. I just want to acknowledge everyone in town comes out and sees the egregore. They see that this is something everyone is part of through Neellith. Neellith is the psionic conduit throughout which I can't say conduit without context. It's going to make people think things. You are the
psionic connection.
You are the connection through which thoughts flow. But it's everybody's egregore. It's a socialist egregore.
I point out my horrifying pile of dead bodies with glowing eyes to Sun, Moon, Stars, expecting Sun, Moon, Stars to be flattered. I'm not.
Yeah, she is.
Neellith turns to anyone who's around and simply says, "Next time you're having a really bad dream, this thing's really good at fighting bad dreams."
Yeah. So the party has reached level 7. Who wants to tell me about it first?
I will. I'm going to be confident and just jump in and do it. No one stopped me.
Hell yeah.
So level 7 for a bard is not like a particularly eventful level. Like, not a huge amount happens. Neellith now has a little bit more HP, has 1 new spell, and she's got her first 4th level spell slot. So the new spell she has got is Locate Creature.
The bane of every dungeon master's existence when they want to hide something from you.
I mean, there are ways to hide things from this, and I've only got 1 spell slot, so I can only use it once. So just, hide 2 things from me, and I'm screwed. But
yeah,
it's a spell that, in a small town like this, seems very useful, because a lot of things will be within range of, hey, where is that creature?
Yeah. Also, the flavor is really on point, because now all of you are low-key connected to a big Frankenstein statue. So if you wanted to locate somebody, you could just kind of ping the tower, as it were.
Yeah, I could be like, right, where's the wing part of the Voltron's owner? Where are you at?
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. So I don't want to go right into the scene of you opening the restaurant up for a hungry Venta who was stuck in their cave during the storm. But I assume there is much more traffic in the Wind and Dine Flare in the coming days because a big trophy just appeared in the town square. So it's really fresh in everyone's mind that you kick ass.
A big trophy telling everyone how amazing I am. I'm so good. I'm great. I'm wonderful. Everyone please like me.
Please clap.
Please clap. So I think you're cleaning up after a hard day behind the grill. A lot of people left very happy with their service. But as you're finishing up the dishes for the night, I think the door opens and you hear this very strange sound of clip-clopping hooves on your floor.
No one I currently know that is a named NPC in town has hooves that I'm aware of, do they?
It's very confusing to you until you peek out from the kitchen and you see Drip, the shark horse.
Oh! Okay, that makes more sense. I was assuming someone was walking in with coconut shells on their feet so they could sound like a horse. I thought this was a practical joke.
I mean, it's funny you say that because I actually, now looking at the character list, Governor Gigi does have cloven hooves, although I imagine they probably wear boots when they go outside, but
yeah,
just for the record.
Yeah, also, I think their clip clopping is not as loud and as aggressive as a full shark horse would.
Yeah, but the Drip, the shark horse, as we discussed, horse-shaped, hammerhead skull, shark-like skin, and just absolutely bedazzled in the latest fashions, furry boots, warm sweater, stylish hat, probably some kind of tail warmer. They have that shark split tail that's very cool, but it's in a big cozy. I think about Drip's fashion pretty much every day because this poor horse is just doing his own thing.
I also have to do a quick shout out to Levi for doing some art of Hale and Drip just making Aze's life terrible while they're just drinking it up and partying around Aze's house. Just
last we left Drip, Hale the historian is riding him around Aze's place, just knocking things over. But Drip walks into your restaurant and just begins, just like an animal, kind of browsing around, nosing around the tables and so forth. You do not share a language with this creature, so.
I could cast tongues.
This spell grants the creature you touch the ability to understand any spoken language it hears. Moreover, when the target speaks, any creature that knows at least one language and can hear the target understands what it says. So the target does not know any languages because it's a horse, but it will be able to understand. It will be able to understand you.
Oh, well, okay. Hey, Drip, can I help you with something specific? Clop once for yes, two for no?
That's very funny. Drip snorts like a horse, but revealing rows after row of just the most steak knife teeth you've ever seen before. Kind of horrifying. Maybe there's like specks of flesh in there from whatever you all feed this animal. But it's just looks like a goofy ass horse as it kind of clops over to you and clops once for yes. If you cast the spell tongues, what does that look like?
What does the spell tongues look like?
Feed it a tongue dish. A dish made of tongues.
I'm kind of horrified by the thought, but I do kind of like the thought of cooking up a like a tongue and like a beef tongue and lettuce sandwich, and just having like the sandwich mouth that is talking with the tongue stuck out.
Oh no!
It's an animated talking sandwich.
Mm-hmm. It's a BLT. It's a beets, lettuce, and tongue sandwich, I guess, or something like that.
The tongue is ethically sourced from an animal that had already died. It's cool. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that's another thing. Although your restaurant is mostly vegan, there are, I assume, meat eaters in the village?
Yeah, there are.
Okay, I had this thought because I know the Baku ended up being like a weird Reddit guy, which got away from me. That was not the intention. It was supposed to be my own feelings on the fact that veganism is the ethical and correct choice, and yet I still eat meat. And like there isn't like a deep logic to it. Aze was like trying to argue with the Baku about like sustainability, and it's just like I eat meat because I'm weak and I'm a bad person. I don't know what to tell you, which is kind of the Baku's thing.
This is another one of those cases where I kind of tap onto an actual theme without realizing it in my discussions with you, Austin. So
the joke was just supposed to be that Freddy Krueger wears a fedora, so the Baku did as well. That was all that.
Yeah, but Freddy Krueger was also a fuckboy. Like, that's a fact. That's literally part of his character.
Also, to be fair, you could make a vegan substitute tongue of sorts, because there's plenty of.
I
Yeah.
assume what Austin's trying to get to here is questions about does Neellith produce meat stuff for themselves, and how do they reconcile that? Is that sort of where you're heading?
Yeah, I mean, I just thought I'd get it on record that, like, I imagine Farmer Applewhite probably does have a couple of, like, sheeps and goats and cows somewhere. And are you involved in any of that, or is that just I do not see? I do not see it.
If I may give some historical context to farming, people usually didn't kill their animals in their prime. It was like more like putting your animal to sleep and then you just also ate it. So you can, under those circumstances, have ethical meat.
I think the situation for Neellith is like in the Wind and Dine Flayer, actual brain-related meals are very much a no-go just because, hey, don't want to feed into the association of, hey, you should eat brains. Living people are a great source of those. And while Neellith, I think, largely tries to have vegetarian or vegan meal stuff herself, I think that she's got no problem with serving meat when it's not brain-related to other people. Like, she's perfectly happy to prepare meat-based dishes for other people. I think her stance is very much that she's making her own personal choices about her consumption, but she's not going to pressure others into jumping to making her dietary choices.
Yeah. I mean, we could just write a whole like essay about the ethics involved here and what this says about the show, but just as a character beat that you bring out this non-vegan tongue, you cast tongues, you ask Drip if he needs something specific, he clops once for yes.
Is it that you need food? Yes or no?
Clop, clop. No.
No. Do you need me to follow you somewhere?
Clop. Yes.
Okay. Let's us and the talking sandwich go then.
Yeah, all your words are coming out of the sandwich. So Neellith, you carry this talking sandwich ahead of you as Drip prances, very dressage-esque because he's been spending a lot of time with Hale.
I really hope that Drip is addressing all of the questions to the responses to the sandwich.
Absolutely. And Drip prances up to the agrigore, which has settled down in the middle of town and become inanimate, like a statue. And Drip kind of comes over and bonks their head against, not bonks, but like pushes their head against it like a cat does when they're being affectionate.
What? Did you want to contribute to the statue?
I think you say that. Drip turns and looks at you and clops once, but then clops twice, as if to say yes and no.
Curious.
Can you show me what you want?
Yep. Drip clops once and then goes back and puts their big hammer head against the egregore, just to eliminate any ambiguity, but it's to say demonstrating behavior it wishes for you to emulate.
Oh, yeah, Neellith puts her head up against the egregore.
Yeah, so there's you feel a tingling psionic sensation, just basically being tapped into everyone else's, not their thoughts, you're not mind reading, but just their presence. Their, like when you could feel someone's in the same room as you.
Yeah.
And you get kind of tingly as you get closer to that feeling. And then Drip takes a step back, and you see all across their skin, where it is the hammerhead, that shark skin, that rough sandpaper skin, begins breaking out in extravagant hallucinogenic color.
Oh! I don't know what's happening, but you're very fabulous.
Lads.
Hello?
Hello, it is me again, your friend, the Alabrije.
Are you in our horse?
I am in the horse, yes.
How did you get in the horse?
I am doing how you say possession, yes.
Leave the horse immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, were you the horse the whole time?
The Alabreje says, No, not the horse. I am using it as vessel. This is famous behavior from Dream Realm. We use your flesh puppets to send messages.
We need to save the shark horse. Kill it immediately.
Next time, can you possess, I don't know, a sandwich or something? They're pretty good at talking. They got tongues and everything.
This animal, this drip, he give me permission to inhabit body. He gets very lonely. Only Ozzy talk to him, and he does spend time with the Dragonborn in japes and jokes, but more people to talk to is good. He love it. Yes, you love it. Do not you love it? Yes.
Now I know. I am happy to let him know he can come hang out and chill in the restaurant anytime.
Oh yes, he would love this. He loves to eat the scraps. As the color finishes, appearing on Drip's skin, and big, beautiful butterfly wings burst out of his back as he is fully possessed by the Alabreje. And it's just now you're standing in the town square with this LSD donkey butterfly again. And you did ask him if he could come visit the village, so he's here. Hello.
Hey. How have you been?
I have been excellent. The baku you defeat, he is now on tour to prove to everyone he is not bad guy. He is advocating for ethical treatment of dreams. To be honest, a bit preachy and annoying now.
I mean, as long as you recognize their heart's in the right place and that there's good lessons to be learned from what they're trying to do.
He is, how you say, slightly pain in the ass. Before, he was very cool before. You imagine him with the sunglasses and the leather jacket, and we love this vibe. But now he is a yakety yak at all hours of day about, food does not taste good anymore.
I'm gonna be honest. I prefer that to, oh no, my dreams are murdering me. That was actively worse.
Are you saying between the two sides of the argument you prefer the slightly annoying preachy side to the outright evil side?
Surprisingly, yes. I know, controversial hot take.
It's like listen, man, you used to be cool when you almost killed people, but now that you don't do that anymore, you're kind of a square man, just kind of lame. Gosh.
The Alabreje says, in addition to giving you Baku update, I also bring a warning. The Quarry, the nightmares of evil, they have gotten your scent, and they make moves to perhaps infiltrate the village.
Oh no, that's bad.
Yes, just as I am doing now. The Quarry have the ability to take over a body if they can find a willing opening, or maybe over many years to manipulate someone into allowing them, but it is difficult. They would take over all of Prime Material if it were easy, but I must warn you regardless.
Can we do anything to stop them? Is this a case where, if I write on my forehead, you do not have permission to be in here, then they can't come in?
The vampire rules. You must have...
exactly.
Wouldn't that be grand? No, you must just...
It would.
You must practice vigilance, mental hygiene, psionic defenses, and not letting your mind have evil thoughts that attracts them.
We're a town of lovely, very nice, lovely people. No one here's ever had an evil thought, I'm sure.
Yeah, the Alabreje looks directly into the camera.
I like to think of the idea of, it's like the Quarry kind of shows up, and in the dream you're just like, are you a Quarry? You gotta tell me if you're a Quarry, right? That's the law, right? Like, no, that's not the case.
But yeah, I left the description of the Quarry in the last time segment on this episode, so the audience will remember their very gross vibe. But these creatures are still out there. They're aware of you now, and they are in the background lurking for susceptible souls. So that's something I want to let you know. Also, now, if you want the Alabreje's company, they can visit you through Drip.
Oh, heck.
Who also gets another friend.
I think Neelith's takeaway from this is that every now and then when she's cooking alone in the kitchen now, she's every now and then just gonna turn around and go, I know you're there. And then get back to what she's doing. Just keep them on their toes.
Just mid-conversation with other people, be like, get out of here. Keep them on their toes.
You're not gonna get me.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the donkey butterfly just like gives you a snout nuzzle, just affectionately pushes their snout into you, Neellith, and says, "It was wonderful to meet you. I am now to return to Dream Realm, where I can have anything I want at any time. It is honestly much better than this place, which seems pretty cold."
Okay. Yeah, it is pretty cold here. If you do this again and you need to let me know that it's you and that I need to touch the thing, just do 5 clops. 5 clops can be, hey, it's me, go touch the trophy.
For security purposes, should we have 2-factor clop authentication?
Mm-hmm. You gotta consult your iPod in order to make sure you get your verification code to pair with it,
Clop as many times as I happen to have tomatoes in the kitchen that day.
All right. Anything else, Neellith? I just wanted you to have the friends you asked for, to acknowledge Drip has more friends than they seem, and that there's still enemies out there.
Do you want any of my cooking while you're here?
Yes. Do you have any borscht?
I can certainly try and whip some up.
My family's Ukrainian. I'm allowed to make these jokes.
That was also your excuse for mispronouncing the alabrihe last time. It's like they're speaking with a Ukrainian accent.
Yeah. Do you have halushki?
Halushki, yes.
If you run me through what that is, I can do my best to do it.
Oh, halushki is great. It's I'll put a link at the chat. It's a noodle dumpling thing. It's great. Everyone in Europe
sounds good.
Everyone in Europe has their own. Obviously, I grew up with the Ukrainian version, but I'm looking at the Wikipedia now. There's a Czech version, a Polish version, a Romanian version.
Send me links. I need to see these foods.
Mm-hmm.
And work out if there's a good pun I can make up for them.
Okay. Someone else tell me about their level 7 while Laura and I look at halushki.
So, I got a few more hit points. And I got 2 new spells.
Oh.
And should I say what they are? Or should I keep it a secret?
I think you could say what they are, but
one is Blight.
Mm-hmm.
And the other is Fabricate. And I really am so excited to use Fabricate. Extremely excited.
As soon as I saw Fabricate as a spell, I'm like, oh, this is such a slime spell.
Yeah.
It's like mending, but on steroids, pretty much.
That was a really good pick. Thank you for pointing that one out to me. I appreciate it. Because what I can do is I can see a raw material like wood or rocks or whatever, and then change it into something else, like a bridge or a chair or, a gallows, a guillotine.
Yeah, it's like you need to make a new desk. You don't need saws, hammers, tools, or even like relevant measuring skills. Just there's some trees. Bam! It's a desk.
Well, I puke on it, and then it becomes a desk.
It's funny you say that, because how I was thinking slime would spend their downtime is fixing the Spirit Halloween now with real swords, which got smashed by the Krampus.
Mm-hmm.
And you at the time mentioned fixing it with your puke, but the game was afoot, and we didn't really have time to stop. So I want to zoom into your downtime scene with you and Marina, who are there fixing up the displays, filling in the cracks with your puke, and just generally straightening things up all nice. Do you want to paint us that picture? Also, you could show off Fabricate if you have an idea for that.
So I go outside and puke on some rocks and turn the rocks into a giant sign that says Spirit Halloween, now open 2 months a year.
Wait, only 2, not 2 additional months in the winter? Or is it you've taken away their summer hours too?
Well, because you have to change the name from Spirit Halloween to Holiday, Madness or whatever, and that's a different store, obviously.
There was a great post, I think it was Cosmignon made, about every holiday we've invented over the history of this show. Yeah. Corellin Miss, the Eternal Solstice, Wormsgiving, Ogster, Beakoween, and now Young Day. So there's a lot of different holidays that this shop can cater to.
And then also Slime attempts small talk and says, Marina, I wish to neural network with sun, moon, stars.
Gossip.
But my techniques of emotional manipulation, or as you call it, romance, are lacking.
Okay. I think that might say more about you, Mari, but we'll glide past it.
I wish neural network is not like sex. It's because they love sun, moon, stars. They just see human interaction as strange, or person interaction as strange.
Yeah. I think Marina says, "Oh, you fancy yourself sweet on sun, moon, stars, then?"
Sun, moon, stars is not made of sugar.
Oh, I see what you've done there. That was very clever. Have you thought about maybe taking her out somewhere fancy, having some nice candles and some wine?
I will die if I have wine.
Oh, well, that does limit your options for romance, unfortunately.
Can she have the wine? Yes, she can have. I will give her wine. I will give her rotten fruit.
Where do I want to go? I love I love that your version of girl talk about romance is giving people rotten fruit.
What do you do to manipulate people into giving you affection?
Oh dear. Well, I've got to say the dating pool for my people, the denizens, is kind of shallow at the moment. My mom's the only one I've met of my own kind, you know? According to people who study this kind of thing, we only kind of appeared recently in a country next door. Do you know about all this? You've been around a while.
Sun, moon, stars and I are not the same kind, and yet it works. Maybe.
I've thought about it, of course, but, you know, I do kind of want someone with 4 arms. Have you ever met, like, a Goro situation?
4 arms. Mm-hmm. They seem necessary to you. I don't know why, but...
Hand-holding, come on.
Oh, 4 hands, 4 holdings. Right. Why don't you just have 2 partners, with each with 2 hands?
Oh, I never thought of that. It's genius. I was thinking about how empty my 2 hands would be, and I was so sad, but I'd never thought of it like that. You're a genius, Slime.
There's lots of 2-hand people. Mm-hmm. You can get 2 of them.
You're so right. What do you think? Do you think anybody in town likes me?
I think if you brought them rotten fruit, you would have a chance.
Well, I'll keep that in mind, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like, you know, I've lived here for a while. Certainly somebody has to have a crush on me.
Your hands sure can. There's lots of them, so more is better. As I've seen studying these people, it seems that they like more and less is bad. More is good.
Aw, that's not, I mean, Sun, Moon, Stars is quite little and you like her.
Sun, Moon, Stars is big where it matters.
Oh, this is so sweet. Aw. What if, okay, so you integrate with people, right? You can like climb inside their bodies, like you have a body now. Like once again, while this conversation's happening, you're vomiting actively. And and she's like hammering nails, like putting up display cases. She says, would like getting inside of Sun, Moon, Stars be a desirable romantic situation?
No, I simply wish to network with her neurons and nerves.
But you don't want to drive her around like the corpse?
No.
Okay.
Because then you can't do that to living people. They get upset and die.
What if they wouldn't get upset?
Even if I could control Sun, Moon, Star's brain, I choose not to. But I would like to network so that I could understand her better.
I have to say, Slime, I don't have that much dating history, but not wanting to control your partner seems like a pretty rare asset, and kudos to you, I guess.
It's nice that someone likes me without forcing their neurons to do so.
I was expecting that when Marina suggested someone having a crush on her, Slime was going to say, Well, I hope nobody has an interest in causing your molecules to be pressed closer together, thus killing you.
Oh, missed opportunity.
Oh, fuck. What? This is so wholesome.
It is.
Do you have any hot goss?
Do I have any hot goss? I'm trying to think of the relationships in town, because I didn't want to put anything in stone, just in case, because sometimes the player characters like to date around, and I didn't want a Garrus and Tally situation where you feel bad for taking one away from the other, even though Tally's aura is my girlfriend.
Absolutely not. Tally will never have Garrus. You brought it up, and now I'm mad.
I know, that's what I'm saying. This is what I wanted to avoid. But we could start a rumor here, or we could start something. We could be like, what if the governor has a crush on Potter? Who knows? Something like that.
When I stare through people's windows at night, sometimes when they go to the bathroom, they don't wash their hands.
I feel like the gossip there is that Slime is watching people in the bathroom.
You know who has lots of tentacles and appendages? Neellith.
Yeah, you think I should take Neellith on a date?
You wouldn't even need two. You wouldn't even need two Neelliths. You just need one.
One Neellith is enough to hold all your hands.
And more.
See, the question is, are you enough for Neellith? Have you got enough hands? You ain't got enough hands for all these tentacles.
Actually, now that I think about it, you don't have enough hands for Neellith, so...
Aww.
No. Hands seem to be important in this equation, and I feel like Neellith deserves lots of hands.
The only problem of trying to set up Marina and Neellith is my terrible British accent and Laura's real one clashing.
Look, we just make it canon that they have been faking their British accent the whole time that they've been in the town.
And now it's too late to go back. It's too late to reveal that it was never real.
There actually is lore to why Marina talks like that from last season. Is there's the British Tudors and the royal family of Wormwood, and then how the denizens came to exist. And there actually is an explanation. It doesn't really matter, but there's a reason. Okay, so I'm gonna ask out Neellith and Ruth because they both have lots of tentacles, and we'll see what happens.
This seems like a logical plan for your hands.
Thank you, Slime, and you should definitely try to give fruit and wine to Sun Moon Stars and see how that goes. I bet she'll love it.
Do I take her to the food, or I take the food to her?
Ooh, both could be nice. People like a fancy restaurant, but they also love a picnic,
Oh,
Yeah.
Which one?
You have to figure out what is more romantic, being surrounded by graves and possibly corpses, or being at the prestigious, renowned Wine and Dine Flayer. And more importantly, it allows for an opportunity for Neellith to prattle off about some of the best items on the menu.
Yes.
In person to the both of yous.
I feel like the graveyard's the better option. Don't come to the place where Neellith is just going to be wittering your ear off while you try and have a date.
Well, if you are going to go for the picnic option, I don't think you should do it in the cemetery. That's where she spends all of her time. You need to make it special. Bring her somewhere she doesn't normally go.
The deadly cliff at the top of the mountain, she never goes there.
Perfect. And they say women love danger.
No, I will take her to my home with Kat. She will love it.
That's very forward. I never realized you might not be socialized to understand this, but inviting someone into your home right away is a big step.
Especially if you're proposing to show them your cat, that's also...
Oh, fuck. Come on.
What?
That's an Austin joke. You're above that sketch.
I am not above that, and you know it.
No, I like the deadly cliff. I feel like that would be something. That's spicy.
A windy, deadly cliff, yes.
Austin, I have very important information.
I would love to hear
I have
it.
Haluski-related food puns that are also brain puns that I need to share with the audience.
Do it. Do it.
So far, these are both a little bit of a pronunciation stretch, but I've got haluskinapses, or haluskipithalamus. Haluskipithalamus.
I like that latter one a lot, you know?
I think haluskipithalamus works. Haluskipithalamus?
It's very good.
There's a pun there.
Okay, so I guess I'm gonna have at some point Marina try to get a date with Neellith. I have no idea how that's gonna go, but I do love the idea of the dating multiple people as well for the arms. That's great. Speaking of, I don't actually have a transition, but it's too late. I'm already into the sentence. Level 7 sketch.
I was going to say speaking about Ruth, but yeah, speaking about level 7 sketch. Okay. Yeah, so speaking about level 7, so Aze is level 7. He is maintaining being a druid. I got a lot of people making bets in the Discord about how many classes Aze will be by the end of the campaign. You might be disappointed by the number because of story reasons, but
Skitch loves multi-classing, but Aze loves stars more.
Listen, I love multi-classing, but multi-classing as a function of storytelling is more of my kind of gig there. Like, as much as I like munchkinning, like theory crafting, in this case, I got to stick to the story, and the story is that Aze is too much of a gross star nerd, depending on who's drawing him or just describing what he is as a youth, to break from the path. So he's a level 7 druid. All he gets is 4th level spell slot and the ability to prepare 4th level spells. And the current 4th level spell he has prepared, in case he needs it, is hallucinatory terrain.
Oh, I mean, that's, once again, narratively, that seems like you got that from your last adventure, which was set on a hallucinatory terrain.
Yeah, and being able to recreate said terrains if necessary. What's useful about it is that it takes about 10 minutes to cast, but the terrain can last for a full day. So if needed to, for example, recreate the stars that he saw in the star field, or needing to, I don't know, depict what his nightmare looked like for someone, I don't know who, you know.
Look at someone maybe possibly working through their nightmares in a healthy way with their therapist. Pfft, loser.
Ew.
That seems like a disgusting and reprehensible idea there. I like it. So
Anyway, so you're in Ruth's office.
mm-hmm.
Her office is a Carmack, Qarmaq. It's a kind of dwelling, which is basically the rib cage of a giant whale,
right,
with furs draped over it. It has a very womb feeling, which at first is off-putting, but then feels cozy because it's also enchanted to relax you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very Freudian immediately,
mm-hmm.
As you're in this warm womb-like bubble with Ruth, the therapist, who is a floating psychic jellyfish. She has in her tentacles a pen and a pad of paper to take notes, and she says, "So, you faced the nightmare, but this time the nightmare ended happily. How does that make you feel?"
To be honest, it was satisfying to get a leg up on the baku when I was thrust into that situation, but living through the nightmare in a more vivid and almost more real manner has certainly put a bit of strain on my mind. I've been having the same dream, but the outcome has been as it normally is when I reach the end of it. And living through it might have just caused me to think about it more so.
Yes, it would be so wonderful if you could just confront it once and all your problems were over, wouldn't it? Bad for my business, but good for your brain.
Indeed. It's been
1 week since you looked at me.
This is me trying to get in character, so.
Oops, sorry.
Oh, fuck. Ruth has a huge bare naked ladies poster on the wall behind her desk.
Yeah, so Ozzy just lets out a sigh and mutters, "It's been just a recurring dream at this point, much like it was years ago after the incident."
Now, we've discussed the incident vaguely many times. Tell me the last time you saw Voya.
The last time that I saw Master Voya was the night before she disappeared from Grendel.
I knew Master Voya. We've both been here longer than most of the residents. She did not tell me she was leaving, but many people seem to believe she told you. For some time, there was an air of suspicion. Would you say that's fair?
That would be an accurate description. I remember Potter and Gigi both questioning me about what had happened for an extensive period of time, for what felt like weeks after Voya's disappearance.
I think we both know Voya well enough to know that she would not have wanted that. Do you feel any anger towards her for leaving you in that situation?
I don't feel any anger towards her, but it certainly left me in a spot where I felt alone, without anyone to consult in my interests, and perhaps for a period, without anyone who could even trust me fully. I feared then, and sometimes I still think now, that there are individuals in Grendel who still don't fully trust me about what I do because of that moment.
Do you find that you trust yourself less? You used to make the trip up to the New World with some frequency. I do not know that you have left once since she disappeared.
That is indeed the case. I think even leaving Grendel earlier in the winter to investigate the travelers and subsequently finding Drip was quite a lot for me to go through. It was difficult to even leave the perimeter of the town itself.
Do you think this is what she would have wanted? You stuck here, not carrying on her work, blaming yourself, having the terrible nightmares about her death that we don't even know are accurate?
I just feel that I still need to do so much more to continue her work properly before I can be content with resuming trips up beyond.
Well, let's make that a long-term goal. We have much work to do, but if you set a concrete finish line, it may help you to see your progress. So let's say, once summer begins, we are aiming to get you back up to the New World again. How does that sound?
It's been 2 years at least.
Every time.
See,
I
that
know.
one was in character.
It's been 2 long years already. I think once we're past winter, I can make an effort to make a trek up beyond once more. I will try at the very least, though it may not be easy.
I think you are stronger than you know. You are one of the biggest people in the village. You have spells, most potent. You have cool charts. I am just a flump. If you flip me over, I'm completely helpless.
You're Your stature does not speak to your character, though. You provide a much-needed service to those that need it, and you do it impeccably well, Ruth.
Well, thank you. I've just been thinking since the Baku incident that so many people had terrifying nightmares of killer spiders and raging sentient fire, and I was in a hole. So sometimes problems are big and sometimes problems are small, but each person's problems seem like the most difficult because they're the only problems you know.
Except for Neellith, she carries no burdens.
None. I mean, well, the problem with that whole thing was that Ozzy had 2 nightmares he had to go through. You know, that
I
one.
know, that's so
It's
difficult.
it's so unfair, you know?
Yeah.
All right. So Aze agrees to try to go back up to the surface after the winter. That's a good, tangible goal to work towards in your mental health journey. So where I want to go next from these level up scenes is the Young Day celebration. So after the snowstorm has gone away, people begin like decorating the town square, wheeling out floats. Let's all together workshop what this holiday entails. It's a celebration of exploration and bravery, encapsulated in the legendary figure of Captain Young from the neighboring kingdom of Wormwood. It's also where Marina is from. What kind of traditions and activities do you think this would entail?
Well, I like to think of something like almost like an Easter egg hunt adjacent sort of thing, like something that involves exploring and finding little trinkets that are representative of Captain Young and otherwise. They're hidden around town.
I like the thought that someone from the village every year has to dress up as Captain Young, as their sort of biggest, bravest, strongest piratey captain, to hide, I don't know, whatever it is around town that we are looking for.
Right. It's yeah. So it's the Captain Young just goes around and hides trinkets for the others to find as a way to sort of like allow time for everyone to kind of appreciate everyone else's residences, places of work, and just the town itself. It also gives a good reason to help clean up things further after the snowstorm.
Yeah, I'm trying to think as far as trinkets go. Like there has to be like a symbol of the.
You talk about the thing the thing that you use to like look at stars while on the ships and stuff, or
like an item one of the characters had. Oh, I know exactly what this is. Fuck, it was so obvious. I'm sorry it took me less long to think of it. The person who dresses up as Captain Young goes around town and hides toasters all over for people to find. None of you have any context for what these devices are, but they have become a symbol of exploration and bravery over the centuries. Because this is an item Captain Young carried with them, even if they didn't really know what it did.
Their meaning has been lost to the ages.
So let's all roll survival to have a toaster hunt through Grendel.
Who is Captain Young this year?
That's good question. My intuition is that we assign a number to all the villagers and roll for it.
I think so.
Including the Moist Watch in this case, or
Yeah.
all right. So that would be like we should roll a D14 in that case.
9. So
That's an NPC.
that's Farmer Applewhite.
Oh.
There we go.
So Farmer Applewhite, the biggest person in town, half giant, is wearing, I guess, a costume which has 2 fake arms. Captain Young is a thrycreen, which is a kind of anthropomorphic insect, basically like a mantis person. So these tiny little arms as part of the costume, completely dwarfed by her sick guns, and then also just like a chitin costume with like a pirate hat.
Exactly.
And so she's walking around like, let's have a clean match. Everybody get out there and let's find those toasters, eh?
So we're rolling survival to search for toasters. 11.
Yeah, let's see. Whoever gets the highest finds the most toasters.
Oh my god.
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
All right. So
2 botches.
yeah. So Aze rolled a natural 1. And what does Slime roll?
A natural 1 plus 2.
My 11 ain't looking so bad now, huh?
All right, so Neellith, you find the most toasters. Why don't you paint this maybe the picture of you winning, and then we need to paint 2 pictures of abject failure. So this is exciting. Everyone gets to have an involved scene of this toaster hunt.
Oh, so I think the way that this goes is that Neellith is just sort of sensing everyone's vibes of like, aha, there seems to be lots of things here. Oh no, there's not much here, and is instinctively going where the good vibes seem to be, and that's cluing them into finding these toasters. And sure, they've not found an impressive amount, but they've found more than none.
Yeah, with an 11, you didn't so much dominate as you were the only competent person.
Yeah, so I think at this point Neellith realizes that both Arze and Slime have basically not found any toasters at all. So I think out of sympathy, Neellith is, just before the hunt finishes, gonna start dropping a couple of her toasters sort of near Arze and Slime and sort of in their path and hope that they stumble into them.
Slime trips over the toaster and then continues to keep walking, looking for toasters.
Just not internalizing what toasters look like for a moment.
They don't know what a toaster is, but they're doing their best.
I was going to say the opposite, which is that Slime is from a time, like Slime has lived long enough to have known what toasters actually were, and so that these arts and crafts simulacrum don't register to her as toasters because they're not actually functional.
This makes sense, actually. Slime trips over an actual art mache. I don't know what's the word.
The paper mache.
Craft. A paper. Slime stumbles over a paper mache toaster, unable to recognize it as what they once knew a toaster to be, and continues to look for a toaster.
All right. Well, Aze, his way of failure involves drip. Basically, Aze is looking about the town, skulking, following tracks that might have been left by Farmer Applewhite.
A toaster?
No, by Farmer Applewhite. But in fact, the tracks were caused by drip, just heading off to some area of town to have a snooze. Aze proceeded to trip or otherwise lose his balance. Drip gets startled, dressages too aggressively and causes the snow on the top of the little shed it was napping in to fall on Aze, burying Aze in a bunch of snow, leaving him to just be on the ground. Just
not aggressive dressage.
Yeah. Hardcore dressage is no joke, It's
aggressage.
Yeah. Aggressage. I remember that Netflix series quite intensely.
I like to imagine that Aze is taking this extremely seriously as a test to your ability for tracking and skills.
Like Aze's laying on the ground, like he's buried from the neck down in snow, and remember he doesn't wear sleeves. He's got to have the guns out, and he's just thinking, I thought this would be good to take my mind off of my problems, but and then as he says that, some more snow falls off the roof. It lands right on his face, just bury him completely, and then he's just like laying there for a while, just taking it all in to just think about what he's done wrong in his life for a little bit.
I think at this point, Neellith will literally just go put a toaster in the pile of snow that Arze is buried in, so that there's no way Arze can not stumble into it while digging themselves out. And it's like, it turns out there was one here. Well done, Arze. It's fine.
The only way it could go worse is if Drip ate the toaster, ate the paper mache toaster after you left.
I think the slime, Neellith literally just tries to sneak one in Slime's basket while they're not looking. No, you found one. It's right there in your basket.
I haven't found any toasters, only this piece of paper.
I don't know why, but I just think a basket explicitly to put paper mache toasters in is very funny.
So Neellith, you won the hunt. What do you think's the prize? Because I could definitely see Governor Gigi giving you something extremely lame, or just like a genuinely like a fun D&D upgrade. Be like, oh, your pots and pans are non-stick now, so +1. Or you can just be like, here's a nice ballpoint pen. Because I'm a fucking weirdo.
I think it's a. I don't know if these are a British thing or if you have them in America, but like, if you ever went to like a career fair or something, you'd sometimes get these little things that were like a little like ball of fluffy material with googly eyes on it and feet that were stickers. You could just sort of stick it in place, and they'd be like mascots for like, aha, buy our product. I'm picturing like a little town, like just a little tiny throwaway from the office of the mayor thing. It's like, yeah, there you go. It's a little fluffy thing. We don't have a name for it, but it's a thing. We got a desk full of them in the office.
Okay, I mean that definitely. Let me hit you with this little twist on the suggestion, which is, what if the governor had one of those and made it resemble the agrigore? Because now it's like the symbol of the village. So what if you have a little like fluffy, squishy agrigore?
Oh, 100%. That's perfect. It's gonna live on the little desk in the Wind and Dine Flare, where like, you know, the little window you would have so that you can see from the kitchen out into the restaurant. It's up on there.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to become like the village's version of like a toy Eiffel Tower you get in France, or Leaning Tower of Pisa, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. Well, see, it'll really take off next summer when, you know, when all the tourists are there and we summon the Dream Voltron and everyone's like, oh shit, this town got lit over the winter.
Yeah, the governor's using you as a focus group for the merch.
I mean, Neellith 100% buys into it. She's very happy to be a guinea pig for merchandise.
So the governor announces your victory to the little crowd here. Ozzy's buried in a snowdrift somewhere. I think Slime wanders in like halfway through. But then the governor does say, "Hark, Neellith. I did have a confabulation I needed to run by you. Have you seen our mutual acquaintance, the genius of Grendel, recently?"
Out of character, how long has it been since we have seen the genius, and is that normal?
Not since the genius rolled away from the egregore. It's a couple weeks.
Is weeks long enough that a regular amount of time to have not seen the genius for?
I'd say it's probably on the borderline. Like, it's not unusual for them to disappear into their work for a week or two at a time, but usually they pop up at that around now. So I'd say it's like you're edging into the gray area of concern.
I wanted to confirm this wasn't we usually see them daily and we've just not cared before now to ask.
No, I definitely don't want to make you all heartless and indifferent. I'd say it's getting to the point where it's normal to be worried.
I mean, no, I haven't. I assumed that they'd been a bit sort of head down, because Dream Realm, a lot of fodder for new experiments. Yeah, I would have expected them by now. They've not even, done the customary thing that they'll usually would do when they haven't been around for a while, which is come into the Wind and Dine Flare just to say, I don't eat, and then leave. They seem to find it hilarious. That's a weird one.
That is a classic genius caper, I must say.
Yeah, let me sit down and ponder what I will not eat. Ha ha ha. Away I go.
I only bring it up now because next up we have an event I think they would find most electrifying. It's the float race.
I mean, fingers crossed they've been preparing for this and that's why they've been quiet and they're gonna burst out with, a super powerful mega float that has, the wheels explode and that gives them speed boosts.
At this point, you see Marina and Sun Moon Stars, who were on the planning committee, wheel out some colorful floats meant to represent the ships in Captain Young's fleet, the Thriller Bark, the Romance Dawn, and a couple others. And they're all the sails are beautiful. Marina did a great job, but the architecture is a little wonky. No one here is a shipbuilder, so that's questionable. All of these floats are wheeled onto a little track, almost like a go-kart track for the Young Day race. So everyone, vehicle proficiency check to race.
Neellith doesn't have any way to improve her own float. No, I'm not going to do this. I was considering use heat metal to overheat someone else's float, but that's too mean.
Well, the only thing I could think Neellith possibly doing is wanting to have like one of her fellow Moist Watch members have a little bit of a morale boost for the second event by giving them a snack/bardic inspiration. But I'm not sure.
Oh no, she wants to win. She wants to win.
Neelith's going for the triple crown. She's going to win all 3 events.
Neellith wants to put some cooking oil on her vehicle's wheels to try and, slip slide to victory.
I don't know if that's how friction works, Laura. I don't mean to call you out, homie, but I don't.
Okay, she'll put some molasses on her wheels.
Oh,
that might not help either. So
Mario Kart ass race.
Okay.
I want to bring a green shell and a bunch of bananas.
I rolled a straight D20 and I got a 17, so somehow her plan works.
Ozzy rolled a 10. Mari, go ahead and roll just a D20 without any modifiers, and let's see what you get.
11.
Neellith wins again. So yeah, paint me this picture of the victory. Feel free to banter. I mean, a notable thing is that while you're all racing, I think you all look expectantly over your shoulder, expecting some kind of cart made out of lightning to burst out of the genius's shop and take to the track, because that's how they roll. But just nothing.
I think Neellith wins this by having I've got a third idea of how this win happens.
Okay.
So I was trying to think of like what's a food-based equivalent of making like snow tires. With the chains around the tires, and the best I could think was press a bunch of stale croutons into the treads on the tire, so it's lots of bits that could sort of grip at the ground. Is that how tires work?
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
There we go. It did work because Neellith came first, or it was coincidence and the 2 events had nothing to do with each other. But Neellith chooses to believe that's why she won. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit confused that I won. I really thought the genius was gonna, oops, last minute, I created supersonic travel. I went faster than light. No.
Azeo is of the group last to pass passing the line, and he is fairly quiet as Neellith is talking about like the genius coming in blazing. Whether it's not clear like if Ozzy's like in thought or otherwise, but he just isn't really saying much to comment on that particular matter.
Is it possible that the genius did win, but they made their vehicle invisible to stealth the win, and they can't work out how to make the invisibility gone button work?
It seems to me that the genius would never want to be invisible.
I think this is the moment where Neellith is gonna cast Locate Creature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, read Locate Creature to the audience.
Describe or name a creature that's familiar to you, so the Genius of Grendel. You sense the direction of the creature's location, as long as that creature is within 1,000 feet of you. If the creature is moving, you know the direction of its movement.
You do not sense their location. And I think as you 3 are like talking about this, like at the finish line with your floats, the governor comes over and like grabs your wrist and holds it up and to announce you as the winner of the race to the crowd, who claps politely. And they're like, "Hark! Another victory for Chef Extraordinaire Neellith, and another boon from the treasury." What kind of goofy ass prize do you get this time?
a badge that you make with those make your own badge machines that also has a picture of the Dream Voltron. It's more Dream Voltron merch.
Okay, it's all gonna be Dream Voltron merch. For a second there, I thought you were gonna say it has the governor's face on it.
I mean, you can have one with the governor's face on it.
Or like all the merch was governor themed merch, and it has all been altered to be agrigore merch.
Exactly.
He's like using it all to try to make this more lucrative enterprise work.
Yeah.
What a
So,
fucking goof.
I think the visual of this is that the governor is pinning this Dream Voltron badge onto Neellith and sort of holding her arm up, and she just looks confused and concerned and worried, like she is not enjoying this victory at all.
Farmer Applewhite, still dressed up as Captain Young, is like waving to the crowd and handing out, refreshments and treats and so forth, and says, "Good job, Neellith. You're really killing it out there."
Yeah, thanks. I'm gonna duck out the rest of this, I think. I don't know, something doesn't feel right.
Oh, what's the matter? There's still one more event coming up.
Yeah, but I don't know where the genius is.
Oh, surely in their workshop.
I mean, no, I did the brain thing to try and locate them, and they're not anywhere nearby.
I think in the background you see Marina and Sun Moon Stars setting up for the final event, which is a recreation of a famous gladiatorial game Captain Young's crew were forced to participate in by an evil king. He made the crew members fight to the death in his arena, and they had a heroic escape and when they went up to the surface. At least that's how the story goes now. And so it's kind of like a MMA match for people to do fighting.
Slime is completely unable to understand the fact that there's someone missing and simply walks away to go watch Sun, Moon, Stars have a cage in a death match.
Yeah. So this is a great opportunity, Slime. Not understanding that people, go missing or what that means. Because you're just like, people exist and they're there. I don't know what you're...
They're there. Neil would have to explicitly say, they are gone now. Where are they? But they didn't, so we're walking away.
Is this where you invite Sun, Moon, Stars on a date?
Well, Sun, Moon, Stars is in the middle of a performance. So
Aw.
I will wait until after.
You're very respectful. Yeah, Sun, Moon, Stars sets up a fake papier-mâché coliseum, like a little... to the audience, you recognize it as like a sports stadium, but to everyone else, it's just like the ruins of an ancient gladiatorial combat arena. And it's supposed to be just like a little sparring match for people to fight in for Young Day. And the Sun, Moon, Stars finishes setting up and smiles at you and says, "I bet you're gonna win. You're very strong and very smart."
I'm going to bring you rotten fruit.
Aw, thanks.
I will work on getting more hands. I know it's important.
What?
Exactly.
All
Don't
right,
worry,
so-
I won't think you're shallow for wanting lots of hands. I understand that hands are an important commodity. I will obtain more.
I mean, we can always get more. I know a spot. We can have a dozen. We can do a hand bouquet.
Ooh, yes, that's a lot of hands. You'll like that.
Like instead of flowers, you just give each other severed hands.
And I can stick the hands on my body.
Okay, now this is becoming something else. This is Cronenbergian.
That's just like sticks out of my body. Well, yeah, because from what I can tell, hands are very important. So therefore, I will get more hands.
Oh no, Marina's been such a bad influence on you. Anyone who wants to take part in the final game, roll initiative.
I don't think Neellith does. I think Neellith is trying to work out other ways that they can maybe track down where the genius is.
So what did you roll for your initiative, Mari?
7.
Aze rolled a 3 for initiative.
Ah.
All right, so literally, this is now a combat between Slime and Aze. You two take the floor. You don't need me to speak. This is for the final event.
I cast Earthbind.
All right. What do I need to do in response to that?
You need to roll 15 strength.
It's a strength save. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That will be Ozzy rolls an 18.
Damn it.
Gosh. I think what Ozzy will do in response to that, bonus action, tap into his astrological singularity. Body begins to glow with some light. The form of the manipulator, which is serpent plus hand, forms along his arms, and he will do the little 2-part attack with that, with the first attack being the little ranged spell attack against Slime. That'll be D20 plus 8 for the attack roll there. That's 13.
Armor class 10, so...
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So that would do 8 damage for that. And then there's a follow-up with a little bit of a twist of his other hand, and he will do his version of Thorn Whip, which has like the little star gleaming on it, to attempt to, I don't know, to pull Slime in closer. So let's see how that attack goes. It's the same sort of roll, D20 plus 8. That's an 11.
So I have an armor class of 10, so you still hit.
Mm-hmm. And that will be damage 7. And Aze pulls Slime in close towards him. And that's what his turn ends up being. So a total of 15 damage and pulling.
So that was 2 moves. Can I do 2 moves?
Only if one of them is a bonus action. You have to. And if you do a spell as a bonus action, then your regular action spell has to be a cantrip, which is what Ozzy did in this case here. He did basically a magical bonus action attack and then a cantrip regular action attack.
All right. I want to do a 4th level vampiric touch since you pulled me in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the crowd, Ruth is like behind Aze and cheering as he busts out the whip. It's very tentacle-like. She's doing like, karate moves in the crowd with her tentacles while you whip. And behind you, Sun, Moon, Stars, Slime behind you is like, kick his ass.
Oh, what?
Oh no.
9.
So that misses. Ozzy's armor class is 15.
I'm literally on top of you, and I missed. I puked and missed. It fell on the floor. All my intestines are now on the floor instead of
on
Aze. I missed. I got nervous.
Did you try to do like a long range vomit, and then he did the whip and pulled you close, and you just shot it over his shoulder?
Yeah, and I'm now extremely embarrassed in front of Sun, Moon, Stars.
Oh
no. What Aze will do is he'll follow up by doing another little bonus action manipulator attack. So Aze is going to roll twice and take the worst of the 2 attacks because he's trying to do a range attack while up close. Rolls a 16.
I think that's my armor class is still 10.
Yeah. So.
I don't know anything. It's fine.
Wow, Aze hits for 13 with that extra attack there.
Come on!
That reminds me of like the first episode when the Myrmicolian downed you and you're like, did I do something wrong?
This is ridiculous.
And then Aze is going to once again try to Star Thorn Whip.
You can't do this! This has to be against the rules.
I'm explicitly doing things that are within the purview of the rules. In fact, nothing I'm doing here is even homebrewed. I'm doing things strictly by the strict rules of what I can do here. This is
very funny because you're a terrifying inhuman creature from the beginning of time, and this is just some nerd.
Some star nerd.
I have a debuff from trying to impress Sun, Moon, Stars, so I'm distracted.
Aze does the Thorn attack, rolls 12, and hits with it.
Oh my god.
This does add an interesting dimension to the date, though, because you're going to come in having been embarrassed. That's spicy.
And that's 4 damage there. So that's an additional 17 to the 15 from the first round there.
I'm dead. It's overkill. I'm literally a dead person. You're killed
not,
me.
That's not how it works, Mario.
You killed Slime. You're a murderer. You killed them right in front of the whole town.
Listen, okay. On a side note, there's going to be plenty of time to accuse Ozzy of being a murderer. Now's not the time for that.
Okay, yeah. So paint me the picture, Slime, of you getting beat up. You don't die. Even if this was a fight to the death, you don't die at 0. There's like a whole process of dying. So, but feel free. How does this go?
Just humiliated. I lay down. I can't even look up. I have to lay down because I know Sun, Moon, Stars is. I swear I'm an ancient, powerful being. I am.
Okay, so he whips you, and you keep trying to throw up on him, and he keeps dodging you, and he whips you down, and then you just decide to lay on the ground and feel sorry for yourself. And I think Sun Moon Stars like jumps into the arena, this little paper mache arena, and runs over to you as you like. In my mind, your slime kind of like slithers away from the corpse, and like in shame, and you're just like, I want to go be by myself. And Sun Moon Stars kneels down and puts her hands into the goo.
Aw. I feel better, and then I go back to my body, less embarrassed.
You okay? I was thinking she's just like, would it make you feel better to interface with my nerves?
Not in front of everybody.
Okay, so slime can be embarrassed. Interesting, like this. Okay,
Not in front of everybody. It's private.
So Aze, you win, and everyone cheers. And I think you look around for the governor to hold your hand up and announce you as the victor and give you a stupid little prize, but you don't see him.
Aze is also not looking like particularly like, victorious as he stands there, just kind of looking around. Everyone has kind of a, again, just a sort of a stoic look on his face. And then there's a few blinks, and he then finally mutters after a few beats, where's the governor went? Perception in this case is what you wanted?
Yep.
Okay. Aze rolls a natural 20 on his perception as soon as like that bit of like, something's amiss comes to his mind.
This is hacks, right?
Sketch is in the Matrix. He's in. So with a crit with a 20, I'm just gonna say you look in the distance and you just see the silhouette of Governor Gigi walking away from this spectacle towards the edge of town. And there's nothing more I can give you than exactly seeing him, so that's what you get. There he goes.
Is it the direction of the genius's place?
Nope, it's in fact pretty much the opposite. Although let's cut over to Neellith. Neellith, you float over to, or you're floating with your legs off the ground and using your face tentacles to pull yourself quickly over to the genius's workshop, which is a very eccentric collection of whirring machines and belching smoke furnaces and gear grinding nonsense. What do you do?
Just in case, Neellith is initially going to attempt to use detect thoughts and just double check that there's no thoughts going on in the building.
Nope. Good thought. Nope. Like detect, locate creature, detect thoughts yields no useful results here. But that in and of itself is useful.
Yeah. Neellith's just going to try the front door.
The genius seems like the kind of person who would lock their door or have some kind of eccentric mechanism on it. Why don't you roll for me Arcana, maybe?
Yeah, this seems like booby traps would be a thing, probably. Like, oh no, I opened the door and an explosion went off.
Absolutely.
13?
So that's above average, but not 15 what I was looking for. So I think what it is like there's a combination lock, but instead of numbers, there's like symbols, and you're like, rolling them around trying to figure out what they do, and you're pulling on it to see if you have it right. And there's a weird click from inside it, but it doesn't open. And then you hear a voice say, "Intruder, state your name, state your intentions, or be vaporized."
Neellith, looking for the genius of Grendel.
Analyzing voice pattern. Beep, boop, beep, 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 beep. Neellith, You are whitelisted on the Friends protocol. Enter. And the lock clicks and falls off.
I am very glad to hear that the genius thinks of Neellith as a friend. Yay! Oh.
You don't know in character that there was a moment where the genius could have sabotaged your egregore. To you, it just, that went off without a hitch, but the genius does value you.
Yeah. Neellith has never been entirely sure, like Neellith has always had the sneaking suspicion, oh god, maybe the genius of Grental does eat, but just really hates my cooking, and, it's nice to have some validation of, I'm not entirely hated.
So you enter the genius's workshop, and it is humming with activity, but not from any person, not from themselves. It's just, there's little, drones. You see bloops, who is that, flying familiar, with, it has a light on it. It has, surveillance equipment on it. It's flying around. It's checking on things. There are...
Can we communicate with bloops?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know that Bloop speaks, but it is an advanced intelligence, so try.
Neellith sort of takes a couple of tentative floating tentacle crawls in and goes, "Hi, Bloop, is the genius okay?"
I think there's some beeping and whirring from inside the drone, and then I think there's a screen in here attached to, you don't know the word computer, but there's some advanced machinery, and on the screen the words appear to you, and it says, define, did you say okay?
Yeah, I think I said okay.
Define okay.
Do you know where the genius has gone?
Define gone.
When was the genius last here?
Define when.
This is getting to some philosophical territory here.
Yeah, I don't think Bloops isn't being difficult. Bloops is just a simple machine, and you're a medieval peasant, so...
Can you locate the genius?
At this point, the beeping and booping goes into overdrive, and it says, "You have made 3 attempts to question the security features of our system. Do you wish to enact the Good Neighbor Initiative?"
What is the Good Neighbor Initiative?
That is classified.
Oh no, can I roll insight as to whether I want to activate the Good Neighbor Initiative?
Yes, please do so.
Oh.
Is the bad idea roll? The bad idea roll.
Uh-huh.
Let's do it.
14.
I think with a 14, I was looking for a 10 there. I think you know that the genius is not, would not intentionally harm you, and that the system knows that you're Neellith. It analyzed your voice print. So with a 14, the Good Neighbor Initiative may not have a clear-cut good or bad outcome, but you don't think you are going to be hurting you or anyone immediately around you.
Okay.
You do not think it will put you in danger to initiate the Good Neighbor Initiative.
Okay, Neellith says, yes, initiate the Good Neighbor Initiative.
Affirmative. And at that point, a dozen red lights come on all throughout the workshop.
Oh no.
And you hear grinding metal noises as 13 large robots come to life and begin standing up and moving out of the workshop.
Where are they going?
The robots do not outwardly register that they heard you. As they stand up and begin walking, you see they all have different types and different features. You see one which has 15 different arms. It has a spatula arm, a whisk arm, a knife arm. That one walks by you. You see one which has a rake arm and a shovel arm. And
basically, represent, is it all farming related stuff, or is it like representing the different? Okay, so
yeah, there's a farming robot, there's a cooking robot. You see one which has like combs and scissors and disinfectant spray. You see one which is covered in like thimbles and needles and swatches. And these robots all get up. These are 10-foot tall steel gleaming robots with exposed wiring and gears, and they all begin marching out of the Genius's workshop.
At a glance, I assume they're all sort of wandering in the direction of their respective buildings that they might correlate to.
Not only that, but doing so with a single-mindedness that is slightly concerning. I think one of them just kind of walks through you, just knocks you down, and maybe takes out part of the wall on its way out.
Aze will have left Aze will first, before he leaves the arena, kneels down by Slime, apologizes for how that went, and then proceeds to cast Cure Wounds, which I'm renaming as Dignify, derived from the concept of dignity, which is a very elaborate astrology term. So,
as you've stolen from me, my dignity.
So he's restoring the dignity with a 3rd level Dignify, which would be friendship. That'd be a 17. So
thank you.
That's how that. And then Aze will say, "I will return after checking on the governor," before he, gets out of the ring and moves through the crowd and runs as quickly as he can over to the governor to catch up to him.
I pick up Sun, Moon, Stars, as in I literally pick her up.
Okay.
Over my head. And I start walking towards Neellith's restaurant to pick up some food. And then I take the food and Sun, Moon, Stars to the dangerous cliff.
Okay, that's a great ending, as Neellith just unleashed an army of robots. Aze is going to see what the governor has stumbled into, this intrigue that's going to define the next arc, and then you pick up your girlfriend to take her on a date.
Yeah, rotten fruit and everything.
So Aze, you run after the governor, who you can see their silhouette in the distance. They have stopped at the edge of town and appear to be talking to another figure, heavily bundled in winter coats.
Aze catches up and addresses the governor. I mean, Governor Gigi, is everything all right?
The governor turns to you, Aze, and says, "Lo and behold, my star pupil has returned to the village."
Helsingin, new friend. I've heard so much about you.
Swallowed in their coats, with scarves of red tied round their throats, to keep their little heads from falling in the snow. And I turned round and there you go, and Michael, you would fall and turn the white snow red as strawberries in the summertime.